Hey everyone, it's Ben from Trekitt and I'm out here with Harry behind the camera, and we've also got some dog support today from Tess. You might hear her chewing on a stick and she might show up in frame a little bit if she's not digging holes. You know, just kind of doing what a spaniel does. But we're out here today in, I was going to say the beautiful Montane Forest. It is still beautiful, you just can't see quite as much of it because the view behind us is a little bit lacking. But the bluebells are starting to poke their heads out and it's feeling a little bit more like spring. It's quite nice. But we're here today to run through the Montane Alpine Spirit Jacket for an inside look video. Over the course of this video, we'll go through what it is, what it's made of, what it's intended for, and why we think it's so great. So stay tuned for the rest of the video where we'll go over this great Montane GORE-TEX jacket, and hopefully Tess will have finished chewing her stick. First and foremost, what is the Alpine Spirit Jacket? Well, the Alpine Spirit from Montane is a 70 denier GORE-TEX Performance waterproof jacket from Montane. What that essentially means is the Alpine Spirit is waterproof. It's designed to be used for pretty much any outdoor activity, maybe with aspirations of things that are a little bit more alpine, hence the name. But this jacket has been designed to be quite suitable for most outdoor activities where you would benefit from having a tough, hard-wearing hard shell without going crazy on cost and without some of the slightly more specific features that you might expect on a sort of a higher end climbing specific jacket. So that makes this really suitable for everything from climbing and scrambling to everyday dog walking, which is why we bought Tess, you know, and everything sort of in between. It's just a reliable, windproof, waterproof, tough, waterproof jacket. So what's it made of? Well, the primary feature of a waterproof jacket is it being waterproof. So for that, we'll focus on the GORE-TEX membrane for a bit. Tess has found her hole again. She's probably going to start digging. So this particular jacket uses GORE-TEX Performance, which is sort of GORE-TEX's just sort of standard membrane. So it's reliable, it's waterproof, fully windproof, and just kind of works. GORE-TEX is basically a sheet of EPTFE that's been perforated with lots of tiny, tiny little holes that are too small for water droplets to get through, so rain from the outside, but are big enough that moisture vapor from the inside, whether that be sweat or just from the temperature difference, like the climate difference between the inside of the jacket, because it's warmer inside than it is outside. So that moisture vapor can then get out. And that's what makes the jacket a little bit breathable. Around all of that GORE-TEX, this is a full 3-layer jacket. So you've got tape seams and a nylon backer on it. You have the 70 denier recycled nylon outer fabric. So the outer fabric is 100% recycled. And that means that, you know, you get a few more eco credentials, which is always nice. Using recycled products is just something that's a bit more environmentally conscious, and it's something we really like to see that is happening in the outdoor industry at the moment, because we've all got to do our bit to cut down on our environmental costs. But this outer fabric is 70 denier, so it's really abrasion resistant, feels properly tough and solid, so you're not going to worry too much about brushing this thing up against some pointed bits of boulder, things like that, or walking through the woods and catching it. It feels nice and solid, really protective. On the very outside of all of this jacket is then coated in a DWR, so a durable water repellent coating. That's a chemical treatment that's been put on the outside of the jacket to help the jacket remain water repellent, and that's very important for the overall breathability of the jacket. So it stops water from soaking into the outer surface and then clogging the membrane by creating an impenetrable barrier. So it's really worth paying attention to how this jacket performs when it's new, and that water just beads off and rolls off. And that's where the long-term care and reproofing of your products can help maintain their lifespan and keep them performing at their best. So what are the features of the Alpine Spirit? As usual, we'll start at the top and we'll work our way down. So at the very top of the jacket, you have... Sorry, Tess is really getting into the hole right now. Harry, this isn't a hole digging video, please. We're professionals. So at the very top, you have a helmet compatible hood with 3 points of adjustment. So you've got an adjuster on the back and then toggle adjustments on the front here, so it can cinch down to be head compatible as well. I've got a microphone here, so I can't actually zip up all the way, but you have a crown adjuster on the back here, so it will sit around the crown, and then you do also have adjusters on either side to pull the hood in. So you can fully adjust the hood down to make it a head compatible hood as well. On the top of the hood, you do have a stiffened peak, so there's a bit of wire in there so that you can mould it, and it then holds its shape, so when it is raining you do still get a little peak out on the front. In the front of the collar you do get this nice little fleece line chin guard, so it sits nicely on the inside and it's just really soft, so it's nice and comfortable next to skin. Primary feature on any jacket that you might want to use for climbing and things like that is a two-way zip. So Montane haven't scrimped there. So you've got a two-way YKK AquaGuard front zip, which is great for using when you're out and about. It's great for answering the call of nature, or if you're belaying, something like that, then you can have your harness out here. There's also a little popper at the bottom there, so you can have it venting a little bit more when you're not necessarily wanting full coverage and to be completely warm. You can vent that way. Moving on to the pockets, so the storage of this jacket, you get 3 external pockets. So you get one chest pocket that is zipped, that is a decent size. You know, it does extend right up into the corner here, so great for snacks, phones, things like that. Although, word of caution, when using electronics in a waterproof jacket, there can be a little bit more condensation inside, and the pocket zips are not rated to be completely waterproof, so you may want it in another dry bag or keep it in an internal pocket instead. So you've got that pocket there, and then moving down you've got 2 zipped hand pockets, which are much bigger, so they go right up to the top here, so big enough for a map. I'm pretty sure I could fit a baguette in this one if I really wanted to. But maps, compasses, hats, gloves, all that sort of thing is ideal in there. And these pockets are cut slightly higher so that they're out of the way of a rucksack hip belt. So you can still access the pockets, and whether you've got a rucksack hip belt or a harness on, it shouldn't interfere too much with the pockets. You might just lose the very bottom of the capacity, but you'll still have access to them. Moving down to the bottom hem of the jacket, you've got toggle adjusters. You've got them on both sides, and that helps you cinch in the jacket so it seals in around you and just stops the jacket from flapping around. And as I say, you've got those on both sides. So the sleeves have been pre-shaped and slightly articulated, so they're a slightly bent fit, which means that they're a little bit more comfortable to wear. And at the end of those sleeves, you've got the Velcro adjusters to allow you to cinch down either around the wrist like I've got here, or over a glove cuff, things like that, to really seal in the warmth and stop rain from getting up underneath. So around the back, you have a Montane branded hanging loop. So that is the one that you want to hang the jacket up with. Not, as some people might think, this little elasticated loop is inside the hood here. That is actually for rolling the hood away and shouldn't be hung, the jacket shouldn't be hung from that, because what will tend to happen is that patch will delaminate and then you have a bad time. So on the back of the hood adjuster here, there is a little hook, which Harry will again get a close-up shot of. And this hook, when you roll the hood up, effectively into a standing collar, a little bit like this, you then have the hook here that hooks into the elastic, holding the hood into the collar a little bit more. So when you're not actually using the hood, you don't necessarily want it blowing around in the wind. Maybe you've got a hat on or you've got a helmet and you don't want the hood up. You can then have the hood rolled away so it is out of the way. It's not quite the same as the old ones that used to zip away fully, but it does then hold it into a nice standing collar and just keeps things nice and out of the way. So how does the Alpine Spirit fit? Well, Montane have chosen to use an active mountain fit for this particular piece, again sort of signifying where they expect it to be used. So that is quite a slim fit as far as an outer shell goes. So I'm 6'3" with roughly 44 inch chest, and this is a size large, which is the size I take in most things from most brands. And I've got a lightweight base layer and a Montane Proteum, a sort of a mid layer over the top at the moment. And it's comfortable enough. I wouldn't say that I would want to wear anything more underneath this, because then it would feel a little bit tight in the chest. You know, it's feeling like I've got room to move, things like that at the moment. I can reach up over my head. But if you were using this as a winter piece, so potentially with a heavier weight insulation into it, or you tend to be towards the top end of a size range, you might want to jump up to the next size. But this, as sort of a 3-season jacket, I'd be more than happy with it in this size large. So there we go. That about wraps up the Montane Alpine Spirit Jacket. It's just a reliable GORE-TEX waterproof shell that can be used for most activities in the outdoors. If you'd like to shop our full range of size and colours in both the men's and women's version, they're both the same, just obviously in specific fits and different colours. Harry will pop a link up on screen. I think that about wraps it up from us. We're going to go and find another hole for Tess to dig, because she's absolutely covered in mud at the moment and grunting her agreement. So we're going to go and find another hole for her to dig, and I will see you in the next video. You take care. Tess is eating a stick. Tess digging a hole. She's found another one. There must be something good in there. It's just a spaniel being a spaniel. Excellent.
Tearing up bits of mud with her face.
I'm just really glad she's not getting back in my car, Harry.